Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Beam Reads. Today we are reading The Puddle Pail, written and illustrated by Elisa Clevin. She wrote the words and drew the pictures. And this is a book about two crocodiles who are brothers, and they like to collect things. Let's find out. One bright morning after a storm, Ernst, a young blue crocodile, and his big green brother, Sol, set off for the beach. They skipped through the wet grass and stamped through the mud, drumming on their shiny pails. "I'm going to fill my pail with shells," said Sol, who loved to collect things. "I'm going to fill my pail with sand and build a sand castle," said Ernst, who loved to make things. So Sol loves to collect things, and Ernst loves to make things. Here are their pails. You can see them drumming. "Maybe I'll find some rocks too," said Sol. "All shapes and colors for my rock collection. And some feathers for my feather collection, and maybe some string." Sol bent down to pick up a rubber band. "Just the thing for my rubber band collection." "You ought to start a collection, Ernst." "I don't know what to collect," Ernst replied. "Collect something you really like," said Sol. "Something that comes in all different sizes, colors, shapes. That way your collection will be interesting." So Sol is trying to help his brother Ernst figure out what to collect. Ernst watched the clouds in the sky make flower shapes, a seahorse shape. It was windy and they changed. He watched the little snake cloud puff up into a dragon, and he watched a rabbit curl into a ball. Here's all the pictures of the different clouds changing shapes. "Clouds are interesting," he said. "I wish I could collect clouds." "Clouds!" exclaimed Sol. "You can't collect clouds. Think of something else you like." "Stars," said Ernst, imagining the night sky. "I love to watch the stars." "But you can't collect stars either," said Sol. "They're too far away and too big and very hot." "They look so small and cold," said Ernst. "I wish I could collect stars." "I know," said Sol. "Starfishes! You could collect starfishes." "I like starfishes in the ocean," said Ernst, "but I don't think I want to collect them." "Well," Sol suggested, "what about star-shaped cookies? You could collect star-shaped butter cookies with frosting." "And star-shaped chocolate cookies with sprinkles," Ernst added. "And star-shaped cherry cookies with toasted nuts," said Sol. Ernst's mouth watered. "I wish I could collect a bunch of cookies right now in my stomach." Just then something caught Sol's eye. A bottle cap lying in a puddle. "Look at that sparkly bottle cap, Ernst. You could start a bottle cap collection." You can see the reflection in the puddle of the bottle cap. "It's pretty," Ernst agreed, "but I like the puddle it's in even more." "The puddle?" said Sol. And Ernst said, "It looks like a little piece of the sky on the ground. I wish I could collect it." You can see the birds in the sky reflecting in the puddle as well. "You can't collect puddles," said Sol. "Yes, I can collect puddles," said Ernst. "They're not too far away, they're not too big or too hot, and I don't want to eat them." Splish splash, Ernst scooped up the puddle into his pail. "Ernst," said Sol, "you're not really going to start a puddle collection, are you?" "Yes," said Ernst, "I am." And he scooped up a green puddle, round as a saucer. Splish splash, it joined the other puddle in the pail. Sol rolled his eyes. Since you're going to stay here collecting puddles, I'll go down to the beach by myself and collect real things. Don't you think puddles are real things? Can you see the tree reflection in the puddle he just collected? Puddles are real, Ernst thought, as he searched for more to collect. Here's a purple puddle, a reflection of the purple door, and a striped puddle from the fence, and a flowered puddle from the flowers. And here's a puddle full of diamonds from the wall, and squares from the other wall. All sorts of puddles. A puddle full of gumballs, a puddle full of brooms, and a puddle like an Easter egg. A puddle like a bike wheel, a puddle with a pretzel in it. Slippery puddles, smooth puddles, lemony, lettery, cool puddles. Ernst sang a song as he scooped the puddles up. Splish splash, sang the puddles as they slid into the pail. Sol came back with his pail piled high. Look what I got, Ernst! 12 seashells, 8 feathers, 19 little rocks, 3 clumps of seaweed, a marble, a half a nutshell, and a plastic dinosaur without a head. I got a lot of puddles, Ernst announced. All different sizes, shapes, and colors. Sol peered or looked into Ernst's pail. Your puddles have all run together. They look like a pail full of ordinary water. They're one big puddle now, said Ernst. An Ernst and Sol puddle. That's the weirdest collection I've ever heard of, Sol replied. What can you do with a puddle? I'll think of something, Ernst said, and he carried his pail carefully as they started for home. I know, said Sol. You can help me wash the sand off all my new collections. You can wash your own collections, Ernst replied. I'll think of something else to do with my puddle. So Ernst set his puddle pail on the grass and sat down to swing. And while he swung, his puddle slowly turned from gold to pink. And clouds swam in and out of the puddle like fish. The sun was starting to set. When the night fell, stars collected in the puddle pail, and a little tiny piece of the silvery moon, too. Early the next morning, Ernst went out to check on his pail. A thirsty dog was drinking from it. You like my magic puddle soup? Ernst asked. The dog wagged her tail and drank some more, leaving Ernst just enough water to paint some watercolor pictures. First, Ernst painted the dog, and then he painted some clouds and some stars and many puddles. So he's making artwork out of his puddles. Sol came by, his pail filled with flowers and acorns and leaves. I started some new collections, he said. What have you got there, Ernst? A dog, Ernst replied, and a painting collection. Oh, said Sol, what a collection! With clouds and stars and everything. I used part of my puddle collection to make it, Ernst explained. The dog drank the other part. Ernst petted the dog. He looked at the clouds and the stars and the puddles shining on the grass. He felt proud and happy. And hungry, too, since he hadn't even eaten breakfast yet. Let's go collect some blackberries, he said, from the bushes down the road. Good idea, Sol grabbed his pail. Soon, maybe we'll find some pennies on the way, and some pine cones or gum wrappers. And maybe some shadows, too, Ernst said. Shadows, Sol said. You can't. Yes, I can collect shadows, Ernst cried, and he caught a shadow of the butterfly flying by, just for a second, in his pail. They laughed as they went down the trail for blackberries. And when the butterfly fluttered off, he and Sol filled their pails and their bellies with sweet, juicy blackberries. Nom, 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 nom. And that is Puddle Pail, as read to you by Mr. Beam. Thanks for watching. Think about what you like to collect. Tell me when you can. See you next time.